Salut, bonjour, and welcome to episode 26 of francofille, a creative podcast. My name is Devin, and this is where I document my knitting and other fiber-related crafting. This is Lucy. She likes to make an appearance once in a while. She's feeling aggressively affectionate at the moment. I was saying you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry at bdevin. You can find, this is getting a little weird. You can find my Etsy store and my patterns on Ravelry by searching francofille. Obviously that's where you can find me on YouTube too. Sorry, she is just, part of me was to cut this and start over, but no, I'm gonna leave it. This is gonna be the opening today. This is what we're gonna do. Yes. This is Lucy. This is my friend. This is how she just is. What was I gonna say? She's totally throwing me off though. Come on, babe. Yes, there we go. Whew. Ravelry group. Also, if you search francofille in the groups tab, you'll find it there. If you can hear that, that is Ezra. He is not napping. He is unfortunately awake in his little playpen area. And here's me speaking. So he wants to know why he is not being involved. But we haven't had a chance to exercise him as well today because the weather is just not great. It's kind of rainy and gross, so we're staying inside, and he's just a little too rambunctious to let wander while I attempt to record an episode. Yeah. What else? What else am I supposed to say at the beginning of this? Guys. Yes, where you can find me, Right, obviously, I really hope this is not the first time you're tuning in. If you are, thank you. And I swear not every episode is this disorganized off the bat. A little bit disorganized, but not quite as bad as this. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. And welcome to a little bit more insight into the way my life is. Hey. Yeah, fair deal of knitting this week. Fair deal of knitting. I kind of got sucked into a new project or two. Yeah, I actually have a finished object, which is exciting, although probably not surprising if you watched the last episode, since I was really close to finished with something then. And yep, a couple new things to talk about too on the shop front and dyeing front. So you can see I've got some yarn drying behind me. Normally, since it's about noon on a Saturday in August, it would be drying outside, but like I said, the weather's just not cooperating for that. So my plans for making mini skeins today, maybe not gonna pan out, because they're just not dry enough yet. But anyway, I'll talk about that stuff at the end of the episode. So yeah, let's just dive right in with my finished object. We'll talk about other stuff and dyeing at the end. Finished object. I am so incredibly grateful. These socks are finally done. These are my Mrs. Weasley's family sock recipe socks, which is a pattern by Molly of a Homespun House. The yarn, this top yarn is Hot Socks 4-ply in navy, just a really standard workhorse sock yarn. I think it's a 75-25 blend of virgin wool, whatever that means, and nylon. So, I mean, sturdy, scratchy sock wool, right? Sock yarn, nothing exciting there. And then the main yarn is Brew City Yarns in the Toasted Marshmallow colorway. I think it's an 80-20 blend of superwash merino and nylon, and it is very, very soft, very silky, very soft. Very excited to wear these. I haven't worn these yet, just because the weather, obviously it's the middle of August, Weather's not really conducive here for wool socks, but I'm gonna get to wear them soon. I'm really excited. I'm heading out to Colorado on Tuesday, so like 4 days from now. I'm gonna go spend 9 days with my mom out there. She's been out there for like 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. And yeah, just hanging out at home. We're done painting most things. You can see the orange still exists. That project is taking way more time than I currently feel like putting into it, if I'm being totally honest. But yeah, figured I'd go out and visit mom a little bit. So I'm going out to Colorado. I'm gonna be in Keystone, Colorado, and I'm super excited because I was looking at the weather report this morning and it's gonna be in the 60s the entire time I'm there. I get fall early. I'm so excited. It's fall weather, so I'm gonna bring my wool socks. I'm gonna bring some like flannel shirts and jeans and really enjoy the fact that I can wear these things. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. So I will get to wear these soon. I'm really excited about that. I got a question in the Ravelry group about what I did to prevent lumps and bumps and all that when changing colors, and to be honest, I didn't really do anything. I just, let's see here, you can see here, all right, that little jog there. When I got to a new row, I just changed colors. And I haven't woven in the ends yet, but you can see I've got both little ends right there. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is weave the navy end up through the ribbing, and then this gray end, I may actually do the same thing. Just weave them both up through the ribbing to prevent too much lumpy bumpiness there. Not quite sure how I'm gonna weave in the end of the heels to prevent discomfort there. Probably not gonna go under the foot. I'll probably go horizontal somehow. But honestly, I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah. I don't know. I will attempt something and let you know how it goes, obviously. If you guys have any tricks, because again, this is, I think, I was wrong. I said a couple episodes ago that these were my first attempt at contrasting cuff heel and toes. I actually made a pair of, I think they're called foot ovens, which is a Stephanie McPhee? No, is that right? A Yarn Harlot pattern where you make socks out of bulky weight yarn. They are delightful and perfect for December. Those had a contrasting cuff heel and toe. I don't remember if I did anything special for those, but I mean, any lumps and bumps that happened there didn't really matter because it was such a bulky yarn. It was already so dense and squishy. Like, it didn't, you don't notice it. But yeah, so if you guys have any tips or anything for what to do with ends, weaving in ends when you do contrasting cuff heel and toe, leave a comment in the show notes in Ravelry, or comment below if you're not in the Ravelry group, although you should be. Speaking of the Ravelry group, we've got the Summer of Sock Yarn knit along going on right now, and yep, there's a chatter and a finished objects thread in the Ravelry group. And honestly, if you've got a skein or two of fingering weight yarn or sock yarn in your stash and you're looking for some inspiration, seriously go hit up those threads. There are some amazing projects in there. I think the finished objects thread just hit page 5 in that thread. So there's a lot of projects in there to go look through. And then there's some projects in the chatter thread, some whips that haven't made it over to the finished object thread yet. So definitely check that all out. There's some amazing inspiration in there. There is a ton of stuff in there that I've kind of clicked through. I've looked at every single post and read through them all. I have definitely followed through some of your projects and favorited patterns and things like that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for participating in that. I'm having so much fun and feeling so inspired by you guys. And so if you're looking for something to knit up or looking for a pattern, definitely go check that out. And yeah, if you've, again, knit anything out of fingering weight yarn or sock yarn this summer, definitely get that posted, because the summer of sock yarn knit along ends Labor Day. So September 2nd, it's coming up pretty quick. I think that's right. Maybe it's September 4th. Whatever day Labor Day is, that's the day it's closing. I will have more details in next week's episode. I am planning on recording from Colorado. I'm all over the place today. It is chilly enough that I am wearing my honey cowl, my honeybeams cowl, which is one of my own patterns and actually my own yarn. This is the Roussillon Sunset colorway. It's not currently available in the store. I might bring it back for the fall because it's definitely a autumnal colorway. And I'm actually having some hot tea too. Like I'm fully embracing the crappy weather we're having today. And I am wearing my apron. I go through, like, I work out of the house now, right? I dye at home. I take care of the house. I take care of the dog. So I spend all day basically at home unless I'm running errands. So putting on makeup and doing my hair and things like that, that's not necessarily an everyday occurrence. Like, that is something I specifically did because I knew I was recording an episode of the podcast, and yet I managed to forget to take off my apron. I may as well show it to you guys since I'm wearing it. So it is just a giant linen apron. It's got two big pockets. It crosses in the back. It's honestly like the most comfortable thing in the world. It goes down to my knees and it protects my clothes from basically everything. Yeah, I got this because I was finding myself, let's see, so when I work at home and things like that, I listen to a lot of audiobooks on my phone primarily. And I don't know, I don't tend to like using the speaker function. I've started to recently because the dog needs some sound. I feel bad if I'm wandering around the house and I'm leaving him in silence, but yeah, I just basically spent a ton of time listening to things in earbuds and having nowhere to stick my phone if I was wearing like a long sleeve shirt and leggings or sweatpants or whatever, yoga pants, which is my normal uniform when I'm at home, because why not? And so having nowhere really to stick my phone, I decided I needed an apron or something with pockets. So yeah, that's why I got the apron. And then once I started dyeing, I was very glad to have the apron. And actually, amazingly enough, it does not have any dye on it, but that's because I just washed it. Fun facts about aprons. They are practical items of clothing, what can I say? That's a non-knitting tangent. All right. Let's see here. In terms of whips, I'll start with the ones you guys have definitely seen before. So, I've got a pair of socks on the go. Obviously, I always do. Right now it is living in my hand knit bag by Annie. Her Etsy store is, what is it, HKNT. Really awesome hand dyed bags. Yeah. And yeah, there it is. You can see her label and everything there too. She sent me this and another bag as a prize for the Summer of Sock Yarn Knit Along. So you guys actually could win one that's actually even bigger than this. Really cool one. I'll show prizes the episode I close the thread. So not the next one, but the one after that. I'm not going to bring prizes to Colorado. That seems counterproductive. But anyway, my sock is living in this bag. That's the main point here. This is the one I am knitting up off of one of my own hand-dyed sock blanks. That's not the best dyed thing I've ever done, but I was just kind of having fun playing with painting on a sock blank, right? You can see it's messy. It looks like a kindergartner's project. That's fine. I don't care. But yeah, it was really more of a dye experiment to kind of see how you go about applying dye, like how you actually end up painting on a sock blank, right, with dye. So that's what this is. That's why you never saw it in the store, because we're not quite there yet. But I am on my second sock. This is what the first one looks like. You can see it's got lots of blues and purples and greens. There's plenty of stellina fun in there. All right, 2x2 rib for a handful of rows, fish lips kiss heel, and you may be able to see there's actually a knit purl pattern throughout there too. Just giving it a little bit of extra texture because I didn't feel like knitting another vanilla sock. I think that's really the only motivation there. So one sock down, and I am just about ready to turn the heel on sock number 2, right? Same thing going on. So, yep, that's what's going on with these. I feel like I've been working on these forever because while I didn't feel like knitting a vanilla sock when I cast it on, my socks do get knit a lot quicker when they are vanilla. Just kind of how it goes. What did I want to say else about these? These are Addy, I think they're Addy Turbo Lace and not Addy Sock Rockets. They are size 1, 64 stitches, my standard socks. But yeah, so hopefully these will get finished soon. I'm planning on bringing these with me to Colorado. There'll probably be some good plain knitting. Although honestly, I leave Tuesday, today's Saturday. I'm already at the heel. They may be done by the time I leave. We'll see. There's been another project that has just kind of consumed my knitting life. Gave me a knitting hangover. We're not quite there yet though. So yeah, back into the project bag, all of this goes. The next whip that you guys have already seen that I've been working on is my amulet shawl. So let's see here. The pattern is the amulet shawl. It's part of the Shawl Society, which is a series of shawl patterns that are designed by, is it Helen Stewart? I think it's Curious Handmade. That sounds right. I could have verified that, but I didn't. Show notes. Check the show notes. Yeah. Decided to knit this up just again to recap a little bit because I dyed up some lace weight yarn for fun a couple weeks ago and really wanted to cast something on in a lace weight because, you know, summer of sock yarn. I've been knitting a lot of fingering weight yarn. I wanted something a little bit different and I haven't knit in lace weight in a while. So, yep, dyed this up and I'm absolutely in love with the yarn. The yarn itself is an 80-20 blend of superwash merino and silk. So it's absolutely gorgeous, super, super soft. Yeah. I'm really excited to have it done just so I can like wrap it around myself. It's gonna be so nice and so cozy. Even in a lace weight, I think it's still gonna be really, really pleasant. It's gonna be really nice and, yeah, really nice to wear. So I've got the Chateau Neuf colorway here. Right, all those delightful sort of winey kind of colors. And then I didn't have a name for this one last week, and then somebody commented, I think it was in the show notes on Ravelry, I could be wrong though, and said that it should be poire, which is the French word for pear. And I think that is an absolutely perfect name, right? Especially because you do get like those little dark speckly spots periodically and little pops of yellow, right? So, poire, thank you for that name. I'm totally gonna use that, totally running with that. So yeah, these two going into the shawl. And I am still slowly but surely building up the center garter section. Right, you gotta see how that's working out. I am absolutely loving how this yarn, how this colorway is knitting up. I mean, I already talked about how much I love the yarn itself, right? That fiber blend is delightful, but I'm really enjoying too how the colors are playing together. It's the first time in a while I've knit with my own yarn, and it may be, yeah, it's the first time since like my initial playing with colors that I've knit with one of my colorways. And I am actually really quite pleased. If I do say so myself. I'm really enjoying this one, and you guys know me. I'm not a rainbow colored kind of person. I am a black and oatmeal kind of person, maybe a little orange, like muted colors, right? Even my reds and oranges are muted. That is what I do. And this, okay, I'm looking at it, it's still kind of a muted rainbow, but it's still, I feel like it's a little bit, I'm pushing myself a little bit out of my comfort zone, even if it is still a muted rainbow. That's what I do, right? I embrace my colors, it's fine. But yeah, so I think I've got probably another 20 rows or so of garter before I get into the lace sections, the eyelet section, where I'm gonna finally get this added in. So this is definitely coming with me to Colorado. This may actually make for some good plain knitting. Because I'm flying out. I think I mentioned the Colorado trip last time, and I've mentioned that I may be bringing Ezra along. Jordan and I talked about it, and once we kind of really started thinking about the logistics of a 2-day car trip, like 20-hour drive with the dog on my own, that seemed a little bit ambitious. So I'm flying. Luckily, the last minute airfare actually worked out. So yeah. I may switch these over to wooden tips. Right, I've got 2 interchangeable sets, both by Knit Picks. I've got these nickel plated ones, and then I think they're original rainbow wooden needles. Which, I was talking to somebody on Instagram about this. It may have been Annie from Hand Knit. And I love these. The Knit Picks nickel plated interchangeable set are my go-to needles for basically everything I knit. Unless I'm knitting something like on size, 0 through 3. Because they don't come that size. In which case I'll either use wooden DPNs or fixed circulars. But yeah, I really, really love this set. I haven't had any issues with these. The wooden ones I've had a little bit of trouble with over the years, mostly with the needles themselves coming unglued from their metal casing. However, that hasn't stopped me from using them. I'll show you the project in a second, but you can see I'm currently using some, right? And so this area here is where I tend to have trouble, right? Where this part will just kind of come out. Though I've heard if you contact Knit Picks when that happens, they'll send you replacements, but I've never done that. And at this point, I think I threw away all of the broken ones like that anyway, so I just replaced them with the metal ones over the years. I don't know that I've ever had a project where I was really regretting using one type of needle over the other, like metal versus wooden. I know the slickness versus grippiness of the different kinds of needles is a thing for some people. And I can understand that entirely. I don't know, maybe it's a tension thing, where I feel like I'm a rather tight knitter to begin with, so I've really never found metal needles to be that slick. I have no idea. I'm just babbling at this point. But anyway, I got on this tangent because yes, TSA. Well, I've had no problems in the past bringing metal needles through airport security. like I brought my entire interchangeable set in my carry-on last time I flew, and airport security like asked me what they were, but it was more of a, well, that's a curious thing in this lady's bag. What is that? Yeah, they didn't give me any hassle at all, but I don't know, for convenience sake, just, I don't know. I'm starting to be a little nervous about it for some reason. I don't know. I may end up switching all of my projects onto wooden needles, just in case. But yeah, that is the amulet shawl. That's where I'm at on that. Did not get a ton knit on that. I got maybe another 10 or 15 rows done on this one this week, mostly because I got sucked into a new project rather hard. So a couple weeks ago, a couple episodes ago, I showed you I had a sweater quantity of this yarn, this Sistari DK yarn that they don't actually make anymore. Like, it's been in my stash for that long, and I bought it from somebody else who was destashing, and they had had it for a while. I think this yarn may legitimately be 10 to 15 years old. But it's yarn, it doesn't really go bad, right? As long as it hasn't gotten infested with anything, it's fine. Yeah. Anyway, I was asking for advice on what I got for a pattern for this yarn, and got an excellent suggestion to knit up the Porter cardigan. If you follow me on Instagram, you have seen tons of pictures of this already, but the Porter cardigan is by, oh my god, I'm the worst. I'm gonna pause right now and go grab the pattern so I can actually give you some real details, because I've completely forgotten everything. All right, so I've got the pattern pulled up. I can now actually give you real details, not ones that are just kind of vaguely half remembered. But yes, this is the Portage cardigan by Melissa, I'm gonna totally screw that up, Shashwari? Awkward. I'm an awkward human being. There's that information. Right? Nice big slouchy cardigan. It has pockets. That may have been a big part of what sold me on this. So it has pockets, and then it's got this gorgeous honeycomb pattern on the back, right? So cardigan, DK weight, interesting, you know, texture on the back, and it has pockets. Like, yeah, I'm sold. That's an awesome pattern. Let me purchase that and knit that up. And so that's what I've done. Sunday, I cast on my swatch. I was good, and I swatched, and I got gauged, so that was exciting. And so I cast on, and I am, see, I've got, it's kind of awkward to show you this way. That's where we're at. It's a raglan, read it? Raglan style, top down style sweater. Right, I've got the shoulder shaping kind of through there. That's the front. You can kind of see the increases through there. Same thing on the back. You can kind of see the clear distinction between the sleeve, the increases, and this textured section. Really nice honeycomb pattern, which I'm really, really enjoying knitting. It's a little bit fiddly, but you kind of quickly get into a rhythm with it, and so it's not bad at all. But yeah. I am awkwardly in the middle of a row with this. Because what was it? I was knitting on it last night and discovered that I had flubbed a little bit, like 2 rows, 3 rows below where I was currently, and it was just throwing off the honeycomb entirely. Let's see here. I've done it once or twice before too. Yeah. Like I said, it's a little bit fiddly of a pattern right, of a knit. Okay, but you can see how there's this nice honeycomb kind of openness there, and then you get this line here where it's not so much, right? That, I mean, it's really just a little bit in the middle of a row. So I decided not to rip back for that, but I had that kind of flub for an entire row, and that was a little bit too much for me to just shrug my shoulders at. So yeah, so I had to rip out and then get everything back on my needles and try to get it fixed. Which was fun while we were watching the gold medal badminton game last night. Jordan and I have just decided to watch whatever random Olympic events we find entertaining at the moment. So we've watched a lot of badminton. What else have we been watching? Obviously I watched all the gymnastics because that stuff is amazing and blows my mind. High diving, like the 10-meter platform diving, and some other ones too, where it's just like ping pong. We watched a lot of ping pong. Sorry, table tennis. Why not? But anyway, we were watching badminton and I had to fix that. So, if you are like me and often have to rip back your knitting and fix it, if you're knitting something on interchangeable circular needles, this is part of why I like this. What I will do is switch one needle to a significantly smaller size as I go through and try and pick up stitches. So these I think are a size 7 US. It's either a 6 or 7, I don't remember. I jumped down to a size 4 US needle to go through and pick up the stitches after I'd ripped back. Because I find if I try and pick up stitches using the right needle size for the pattern, I'm gonna end up dropping stitches. Like, it's gonna screw stuff up, things are gonna get dropped. Using something that small for just picking up the stitches doesn't affect it, right? It makes it easy to pick the stitches up. And I don't pay attention when I'm picking up stitches to the way the stitch is seated on the needle. That can be fixed as I go through and knit it. Right, when I'm ripping back and then picking stuff back up, I'm just concerned about getting it back on the needles and not dropping anything. Especially for something like this where, you know, a dropped stitch in this section is gonna be a big headache. Luckily though, I mean, I think I mentioned before, this is a fairly rustic yarn. It's got a lot of lanolin still in it. You can see you might be able to see there's even some vegetable matter still in it too, which is kind of cool. I'm enjoying it, but also when I'm ripping back, the stitches stay pretty well where they're supposed to be, which is nice. But yeah, I literally have been knitting on this almost exclusively this week, and I am not a sweater knitter. This is the first sweater I've attempted in a couple of years. I don't think the entire time we were living in Bloomington I attempted a sweater. I think it may have been Ithaca last time. So it's been at least 4 years since I last knit a sweater. But yeah, knitting a size 51. I needed a 48, which the pattern either did a 47 or a 51. And since I want this to be able to wear over basically any shirt that I own this fall, like any of my flannel shirts, anything like that, I decided to size up. So it's gonna be a rather massive sweater. That's part of why I'm not a sweater knitter, right? For me to knit a sweater that I'm gonna really like, that's not gonna have too much negative ease, that's not gonna be too tight, I just need a lot of yarn. I'm not a small person. I'm short, but I'm not small. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, sweaters are a big investment for me. And I probably wouldn't be knitting this now if I didn't already have the yarn. That being said, in my latest yarn shipment, bare yarn shipment for the store, I did get some smaller sized packs of different bases that I'm thinking of carrying in the store, including what is actually a sweater quantity of fingering weight BFL. So I'm excited to dye that up. I think I might end up doing another sweater. What? In that, we'll see how this goes. So yeah, I got that just to have a different fiber. I'm testing it out. I don't know if I'll end up putting it in the store. It depends on whether or not I like how it dyes up, how it knits up. And then I also got some DK weight too. Because yeah, it's going to be a little chillier, or at least I'm hoping it will soon be significantly chillier and thicker weight yarn time. But anyway, digressing so much. I'm really having a ton of fun knitting on this sweater. And I may be a sweater convert, we shall see. I've never knit a sweater top down like this before, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what I was thinking, right? I've always knit my sweaters bottom up, and I think I've always knit them in pieces. That may be the issue. So yes, I highly recommend this pattern. 10 out of 10 would recommend. As of now, when I've yet to get past the yoke shaping. Stay tuned. We'll see if I continue to recommend this one in the future. I've got my fingers crossed though. Send me good sweater vibes, because I may need it. This project may also be coming with me. I think I'm gonna grab a couple more skeins and throw them in the bottom of my backpack to bring with too. But yeah, so that is all of my knitting for this week. Yeah, that sweater did just take all of my time. I seriously was up until like 2 in the morning a couple nights. Just knitting and watching the Great British Bake Off. I discovered that I can watch seasons 2 and 3 through PBS. So that was super exciting. I thought it was super exciting. This is my life. You know, I'm not even, like, there's no shame about it. I like things that some people find boring, like knitting. I don't care. This makes me happy. And I'm guessing if you're watching my podcast, you may find these things nice too. I'm probably not alone. All right, so I'm gonna talk about stuff going on with dyeing yarn in the shop, and if that's something that you're not terribly interested in, you don't want to hear about shop updates, that's totally cool, and I will see you again next episode. If that is something you're interested in, thanks for sticking around, and yeah, here are a couple little updates. So I am working on putting together my first mini skein packs. I'm gonna be using my fall colorways, these are 2 of them, to do some packs of 5 mini skeins that are each 20 grams, right? So they're good sized mini skeins. Just kind of for comparison here, I've got a skein of Still Damp. It's gonna go back up on the drying rack in a second here. A randonnée, right, hike. So, right, you can see it's a good sized mini. There, right? I don't know if that actually shows you anything. For me, that helps, right? It's not just like, if we're talking like mini skein projects, for my Cozy Memories blanket, my mini skeins that I need are like anywhere from like 3 to 5 grams. This is 20, right? It's much bigger than that. This honestly is probably enough for contrasting cuff, heel, and toes, or if you wanted to do like Franken socks or anything like that. It's actually a legitimately useful amount of yarn. All right, so here I've got 2 different colorways. This top one is l'été indien, right? Indian summer. And then this bottom one doesn't currently have a name. That's not true. It has a name down in Bloomington in the yarn shop. I'm not sure if I like that name, so we'll see if I keep it. But yeah, it's a highly speckled, as you can tell, skein. We've got speckles of blue and green and purple and red, really more of an orange than a red, all on a sort of mustard yellow base, right? Kind of see how that works. Just kind of has a harvesty kind of feel to me. Right, I love that. Right. So much fun. It's an absolute blast to dye, that's for sure. So yeah, that, and then, ooh, struggles. I'll wind it up in a second. It'll also have, randonnée will also be in there. Vendange, which is the purpley orange and white speckled one right in the corner there. And Chateauneuf. So all of the 3 brand new fall colorways, the one I just showed you with the speckles and Chateauneuf. So 5 of the fall colorways. Yeah, available. That's gonna be available in the shop, my next update, which will be after Labor Day, after I get back from Colorado. I was thinking I might do an update this weekend, but since I'm leaving Tuesday and I wanna make sure everything gets mailed out quickly, it's really something I focus a lot on. Yeah, I figured I would just kind of delay the next update a little bit. Wow, it is coming down out there. Something fierce. I'm real glad I brought the yarn in. Distracted. But yeah, so that is what is new in the store. Like I said, I got a couple new bases to play with in my last shipment of yarn, of bare yarn to dye. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. What else is going on in the store? I am doing custom orders of the lace weight. So if you are still interested in getting your hands on some of this gorgeous lace weight, that 80-20 merino silk blend that I was talking about that I'm knitting up right now, yeah, send me a PM, send me a personal message or a conversation on Etsy, and we can definitely get that worked out. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else is going on with the store. Nothing much. I mean, that's really it for the moment. I'm playing around with some new colorways too for late fall. There's one, you can kind of see one of them in the corner there. I'm not quite ready to release them yet here on the podcast or in the store. Just kind of messing around a little bit, kind of getting some inspiration going. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, I've got a couple things in the works right now and I'm debating how much to share here. I'm gonna keep them under wraps for a little bit longer until they're really ready to come out into the world. So yeah, that's what's really going on in the store. The fall colorways are available obviously in normal size skeins. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say about the mini skeins, they are all on my chaussette base, which is the more popular of the two I found. That's the 4-ply merino nylon blend. And it's normally 463 yards for 100 grams. So it's about 92 yards in the mini skeins. So the mini skeins are about, yeah, 92 yards and 20 grams. So like I said, they're good size minis. So yeah, keep your eyes out. I will let you guys know when that update is happening. Yeah, I'll let you guys know when that next shop update is happening in the next episode. So yeah, I'm gonna get those all made up before I leave, so they should be, you'll see them on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen some of them. You'll see more. They're fun to make. A little time consuming, that's for sure, but they've been kind of fun and a little bit zen. So yeah. That's really all I've got. I think I've babbled quite a bit this week. But yeah, if you like the episode, if you like this episode, give me a thumbs up down in the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, especially since I'm not quite back to a fully regular day that my episodes are released. Staying subscribed lets you know when they do come out. So yeah. like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know how YouTube works. Instagram is there. Ravelry group, again, if you're looking for inspiration for fingering weight patterns or sock yarn patterns, definitely check out the Summer of Sock Yarn Knit Along threads. I think it's SOSYKAL threads in the Ravelry group, because there are some amazing projects in there. And yeah, other than that, I will see you guys again next time. Salut.